Welcome to On Location, a public affairs program brought to you by your friends here at Beatty Televisual. The weather's beginning to change, the air has certainly gotten cooler, and the leaves are beginning to turn those magnificent colors. But that also means that Halloween is on the way. And so we decided to take a look at some of the things that scare people. Some love to be scared, some will actually pay to be scared. And then there's some people that are just scared because of some circumstances that are going on in their environment. There's one society in Springfield that tries to answer some of those questions. That's the Springfield Ghost Society. After we visit with them, we're going out to Carter Brothers Haunted Hayrack Ride, where people actually pay good hard money to be scared. All that's today on Location. Continuing on with our October theme, today we are at a location, undisclosed location here in Springfield, Illinois, and we're talking with the founder of the Springfield Ghost Society, Debbie Lowry. Debbie, thank you so much for having me in today and inviting me along with this investigation. So tell me, how did this start? When did it start? And why did it start?
Well, this group started mainly because of the unexplained things that's happened, especially through my childhood. There were a few other groups out there when I started mine back in 2000, and I belonged to one of them, and then it moved out of the area, and so I started another one up, and there were very many people, a lot of people who were interested in the same thing I was, so it pretty well went off real good at the very beginning.
And so over the years then, how many people decided to come along for the adventure?
We've had different memberships. We've had as many as 60 in the group. We're down to 20 right now, and so it fluctuates back and forth.
Okay. Now, I heard you say a little bit earlier tonight that right now, not accepting members until maybe around the April month?
Yes.
Right?
We always close our membership throughout the winter time because it's kind of slow during that time anyway, and we don't do a lot. So usually after the first of the year, some things start picking up. The weather gets better. We can go out to cemeteries if we want to and do investigations. And for the new people who want to come in, they're anxious to do something. Mm-hmm. So if we don't have investigations coming in, then we can take them out someplace.
Okay. Now, where have the investigations taken you? What different locations? You said a cemetery a moment ago. I know when I went along with you the very first time while I was working at the television station, we went to the Loomis Hotel down in Carlinville. Right. So what are some of the other locations?
We've been to, like you said, the Loomis Hotel. We've been to Alton at a private residence down there. We've been to Shody, Illinois, that's kind of up north. We've been to Hillview, which is down south. We actually travel all the way around through Illinois, central Illinois, wherever it takes us. Mainly private residents. Okay. Every once in a while we get a business.
Now, obviously you have to know somewhere. You're not clairvoyant. You just don't pick a spot out of the air. So how do you get notified by the public to come investigate?
Well, since our group started back in 2000, we've kind of built a word of mouth type advertisement. And every once in a while I may put a little advertisement out in our local newspaper, but not very often. It's mainly word of mouth, and people use us and like us, and they refer us.
Now, when you actually have been out on these investigations, I know by having looked at your website, you do have this website, and you do have some of your findings on this website. Tell us a little bit about some of your more significant findings.
Well, actually, there's There's, it's not as exciting as people think it is. Let's put it that way. So when we do find things, it's more like EVPs, where you hear the voices on your audio equipment and things like that. Um, in all the years that we've done this, we've never had anything just jump right out in front of us and make us run out of the house or whatever. It's not that exciting. Um,
But you've done this since 2000.
Yes.
Now, you have had some personal experiences yourself. Can you tell us about any of those?
well, do you want to know the experiences as I grew up or for the investigations?
Well, maybe since you grew up. So what ignited this spark in you?
Well, ever since I can remember, actually, when I was young, I liked to watch the scary shows on TV. And I was always curious. There was always something that I knew in the house that something was watching me. And I would have nightmares, and, well, that's what my parents called it, but they were real to me. And I have just always, I'd ask my parents, about things, and of course they would say it was my imagination. Mm-hmm. But I've always been interested in it. I know something's going on. And so that's why I really wanted to get started in this, and other people together we can try to figure out what's going on and why.
Now, tell me or tell our audience a little bit about why we're here tonight at this particular location.
Well, the lady, I got a phone call. Actually, we have investigated 2 other houses of hers. Apparently she's got a son who has something that follows him around. So at each house, there's something going on. But this time, she's very concerned about her son. He seems to have night terrors and feels like something is physically fighting with him all the time. He wakes exhausted. She wakes up in the middle of the night with something that strokes her hair, rubs her leg, and it's not mean or anything. It seems nurturing, but she hears voices, and she's just very concerned, mainly about her son. She's worried about him, but she's now concerned also of the voices, and she wants to know what they want.
So, yeah, in essence, then, that was the reason she called you here, and how does she feel you can help?
Well, she wants answers. And so what we're doing tonight is we're using our equipment, and we have audio equipment going, video equipment. We're trying to pick up EVPs, voices, and hopefully we're asking questions to see if anything responds back, if it's an intelligent haunt. And hopefully we can get answers from that.
Now, answers like we've talked, they don't just jump out in front of you. So
No.
sometimes it's not until you actually review your tapes or electronic recordings, audio recordings, that you would actually hear something. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's just like her comment tonight was she was sorry. It just seemed so quiet, and she had us out here for no reason. Well, she doesn't know that really, and nobody really knows it until we get our equipment and our tapes and start going through everything, because it may seem quiet that night, but once you pick up on pictures and audio and video, it may be totally different.
So, do you ever see a point in time when you would stop doing this?
Not really. It kind of gets in your blood, under your skin, and it's just like a excitement. I mean, it's answers. You want to find out what's going on.
And this is the clear way of doing it, is to go out and experience these investigations yourself.
Right.
Right up front.
Right.
And so, is there anything maybe I didn't ask you about that you would want to tell us and the viewers about surrounding the Springfield Ghost Society?
Well, the only thing is, like I said before, it's not as exciting. People watch the shows on TV, and that's good. They show a lot of good things. They show a lot of good equipment, but it is TV, and so they have to, spice it up a little bit so they keep the audience. And so it's not really all that exciting. So when some people join our group, they get kind of bored and think, but it's, you don't get something all the time. You may go to a place and really not get anything. Doesn't mean it's not haunted. It just means you haven't found it. Sometimes you get the answers or find the voice or whatever, and it seems to satisfy them, and they leave the people alone. That's mainly what the people want. It's just either to get answers or to be left alone.
Now, one of the things I saw from your team that's here tonight, there's just 3 of you here tonight, and you went around, you got a little bit of a tour from the homeowner at the very start, and then you decided and asked your peers here, where should we put up the microphones and the cameras and stuff like that. So how do you go about deciding what you're going to put up and where you're going to put it up?
Well, we kind of go on what the homeowner says of where the hot spots might be. We try to cover those places, but also as we take the tour, we ourselves get feelings, and sometimes when we have a feeling that maybe isn't a hot spot, we also put something up in that area.
Okay. And so how many cameras did we put up around here tonight?
I think we have 4 video cameras going, plus I use game cams also. I think those are pretty neat to use. And several digital audio recorders are going.
And then how long does it take you to review all that material?
Depends on how long we tape. It can take 3 weeks. I mean, because we go through it with a fine-tooth comb. We listen to it, and then we rewind it, and we listen again, and we try to. Sometimes you get stuff, but that's not. You can't understand it, so what's the use of putting it out there? I mean, it's something, but
If you're in doubt, throw it out.
that's right.
Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, is there anything else that we need to cover real quick before we conclude our interview here?
No, I don't think so, except if they have anything going on in their houses or buildings or
Okay,
businesses.
how can they get a hold of you there?
They can call me at 217-414-4678, or I have the website, as you mentioned, and that's SpringfieldGhostSociety.com, and there's ways of contacting me on that too.
Okay. Now, does it cost anything? If somebody has some suspicions about their residence, does it cost anything to call you or to have you come out?
No, we don't charge. We don't charge anything. We're nonprofit. We're registered with the state of Illinois. We don't charge people for this type of thing.
And to not be charged, and then maybe to have a peace of mind from actually trying to find out what's going on, that's good payment enough as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, Debbie, thank you once again for having me
Thank
out.
you.
I'm sure I'll be back at some time in the future.
I hope so.
And please give us a call if you come across some place that comes crashing down one
will.
time. Thank you, and thanks for joining us on location.
But this is the room where he feels like he's being, it probably looks like he's being thrown around. He doesn't clean it, but he feels like he's just being thrown around this whole entire room. Like
But
somebody.
he actually is not.
Right, but that's what he feels like, he feels like he's being thrown around, he feels like somebody wants him to fight with them, and if he doesn't fight, he's going to die, and he has to keep, fighting them off, and it's constant night terrors, and he can't sleep, and, he'll have to sit up and watch TV, and if he does sleep, it's maybe an hour a night, and he's gotta get up and go to work, and it's just a constant vicious cycle, and I'm scared for him. I'm terrified. I don't know what to do because I've tried to pray in here. I've done the little smudge stick thing, to pray and do the whole thing with him 3 times, and nothing has worked. Nothing. And, I just want my son to have peace, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Don't anymore. Put my recorder in there. Okay. Find a place to hang one of these bells out in the open.
Oh yeah, that went off over the other house too, remember? When you went over there. I'm just beside myself. I just hope you guys can help. Right here. I woke up and here's my stand. And it was shaking, moving like in 3D, like this, but it was also making a noise, like it was shaking in 3D. Just boom, 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 boom. So I ran out of here and I went over in the other room to see if any of my sons were home. And they weren't home. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened. I went back to bed. But then when I laid down, I've started having people, like when you're laying down or if you're upset and somebody comes up and they want to, you know, just rub your head and, you know, try to comfort you. Well, I've had that happen so many times I can't count. Or I'll be laying in bed and you'll have your feet under the blanket and then somebody will like start rubbing your leg on top of the blanket, you know, and I have that. And I've also had, I've heard voices in here, people talking, more than one person talking. And it happened so much, I've got to the point where I just turn my TV on at night, you know, so they can watch TV, and I turn my fan on. It's not in here now, but I turn it on, you know, full blast, just so I can sleep, and then I'll just go to bed and say, here, you know, watch TV and listen to the fan, I'm going to sleep, leave me alone. I have had nightmares, but those have had stopped, you know, but I don't know why people are in here, you know, having conversations, you know, or playing with my hair, or, you know, touching my leg. I mean, if they want to talk to me, I've even asked them, I'm like, okay, do you want to say something to me? Is there something you want to say to me? Just say it, you know, instead of doing what you're doing. Yeah. You know, otherwise leave me alone because I didn't invite you here, you know, so go. It's my house, but they don't listen. They just keep talking. So, you know, I don't know what else to do. You know, it just doesn't make sense. But it's kind of weird that they keep doing this to my head and playing with my legs, but they won't tell me why. You know. But well, I really wish that I could find out why they're in here, you know, having conversations, and there's more than one. You know, it sounds like there's a group of them, not just one. There's like a group.
And where does it sound like it comes from?
Over here in the corner.
Like from the closet or something? Or
No, it just sounds like it's in the corner
Just
over
right
there.
here?
Yeah,
It's a,
but they're loud.
it's a smoke alarm.
Yeah. And it's never happened before, and I've lived here like almost 3 years.
Is there a basement under here?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a basement.
But is it under this room?
Yeah, there's a basement under my room. Yeah. It's just, I mean, because if they're trying to tell me something, I wish they would, you know, so they could, you know, leave and do what they want to do, so I can sleep. I mean, because I guess if I was somebody that would be scared of it, you know, I would be frightened, but, you know, I'm just, it doesn't bother
Did you ever
me.
hear any names or anything during the conversation?
I've heard my name before, yeah.
Any names?
No. No, I've just heard my name before, and I don't understand why, because it's just my name and then there's nothing else. It just goes into where I can't understand what they're saying.
Like a mumble.
Yeah, and then that kind of irritates me because, like, if you call my name, you know, you say my name, why don't you just finish the conversation and tell me what you want to tell me? My kids is messed up. My stuff's over there. Theirs is here. But every time I come down there, I mean, seriously, I do. I get a really uneasy feeling. Like right now, I got goose pimples really, really bad. I don't know if you do, but I do. Really, really bad.
I don't use a lot of the newer, sophisticated equipment because I just have better luck with the old-fashioned stuff. As a matter of fact, I'd rather use the micro tape camera or the audio player rather than it digital, but I can't find the cartridges anymore. Okay, if there's anybody in here, you can write us a little message on that slate, if you can. I was gonna say, I didn't see you in there, and the doors are shut. Just for that, I'm gonna flash you in your eyes. Okay, I'm gonna do it again, brother. someplace. We can get it to. It'll quit once we get out of its way. We'll see if that's goes
You
off,
have the
because
light
we
on?
can hear that.
Hi, and welcome to On Location. We're out here today at the Carter Brothers Haunted Hayrack Ride, and we're speaking today with Ed Carter. Ed, thank you so much for allowing me to be out here.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me, 30 years now is what you're looking at. So how did all this get started?
Well, just right back over behind us, about 30 years ago, we had a group of Girl Scouts that was up here just for a regular party. We didn't have the haunted hay rides then. And so I brought my horse up here to scare the far out of these young girls, and I ended up running to the side of one of the wagons, flew over the top of the wagons, hit the ground, and I just thought, well, this would be a good gag. I just got to figure out an easier way of doing it. So that's where it all started, and then next year we set up a few gags to come up beside the wagons, and we first started going through an old cow barn that they just people refused to get out of the wagons to go through the cow barn. And so the next year we rigged it up so we just drive through the cow barn with them in the wagons. And that's kind of where it started with our buildings and our hallways and everything. We go through several buildings, but that's kind of where it all started, just kind of the accident type.
Okay, and how many people does it take to put this event on?
Oh, it just depends on how many characters we got. Usually in the neighborhood of, we try to have about 16 different events out there, but now we've animated a lot of them where they're operated by automatic eyes, air valves, and controls, electrical, 12-volt, propane, and so we've kind of cut it back to about, 6 or 8 people really that take to operate everything other than the drivers. You know, me and my boys, we kind of run everything, so.
Well, it's quite an operation. When do you get started putting this together?
Usually around the end of August. This year we started the 1st of August because we had to build a new road. We built about a half a mile of new road, put gravel down, and that was quite a job getting that built. And we had a couple new gags that we had to move around. We had to do a lot of digging and earth moving, and so it just took more time this year.
Now, where do you get your ideas? I mean, times have changed. There's different horror movies that come out every single year. So do you get your inspiration from different movies, or is it just your own imagination that takes over?
A lot of my own imagination. I mean, most of our family comes from down south around Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and a lot of our characters that we use is deceased relatives of mine, that either Uncle Perry, Aunt Pearl, Uncle Utah, Uncle Gene, Bobby. Most of them are just good old people that used to have a lot of fun. I come from a very religious family. We don't allow any like this sadism stuff or Satanism. It's mostly just fun stuff that kids have seen on TV, movies, Texas Chainsaw, Headless Horseman, just different characters. Our Dur York, he's something that we just invented ourselves that come from down by the Bermuda Triangle wherever he comes in here. And just different characters that we just use our own imagination, set them up, and we just kind of create things as we go along, and then we narrate as we go down the trail. The drivers do the talking, we set people up, and you can take people's imagination and just kind of run with it sometimes. I mean, there's been times that over the years that if I was to tell the people that there was a pink elephant flying through the woods down there by the river bottoms, when we get back up here, they'd swear that they seen a pink elephant down in the river bottoms. And so it just, if you create the right atmosphere, throw through things out there for them that they don't recognize, you can go anywhere with it.
Now, when we're getting ready to go, and we've actually got cars coming in now and lining up, so how many people do you expect to come out here on an evening, let's say, and you're only operating Fridays and Saturday nights? So how many people can you expect?
It's a weather market, It's just like anything else, like farming or cattle business. It just depends on the weather. If you got good weather like we're having tonight, we'll probably have a pretty good crowd. But and there again, there's a lot of high school football games going on tonight and tomorrow night, so that kind of holds us up a little bit. So it just depends. It just depends on all that.
Okay. Now, for those individuals, if you haven't come out in 30 years, where are you and when are you open?
Well, we're 3 miles north of the Illinois State Fairgrounds, right across from the Rail Golf Course, and just before you get into Sherman. And we're running Friday and Saturday nights, the last 3 weekends in October, and then on November 1st and 2nd, and we run from 7 to 11. And then on Halloween night, we run from 7 to 10, and it's $10 per person, and they get the Halls of Terror, haunted house, and then the hayride. And that ride lasts probably a half an hour, and that the haunted house, they just kind of go through that whenever they have time between the hayrides. That's about it. I mean, we do have Kids Day. We started that 2 years ago, and that's the last Saturday in October from 1 to 5, and we charge $5 a person. And basically it's just, we have a couple of our characters out there, but nobody has a mask on.
Well, it sounds like an exciting time. I know that I have lots of little kids that have been out here over the time period, and they've certainly had a great time. Do you have anything to tell anybody, any do's or don'ts about the hayrack ride?
Well, we have 2 ladies that load everybody on over here, and as they get on, we give them instructions, and they're not allowed to stand up in the wagons or throw anything out of the wagons or their arms or legs. You know, they got to stay sitting down in the wagons. That's the safety zone, and that's one thing that we don't allow. We don't allow anybody to get in the wagons, and that way it's kind of a family thing. We get all ages that come out. We have one handicap wagon where we get a lot of wheelchair, where they roll up in the back, we fold the tailgate down, they slide in. And but no, it's kind of set up. Over the years, we kind of get as many laughs and giggles as we get screams. I mean, we most of our scenes, we stage little theater scenes at each place, you know, kind of give them something. Like this year, our drive-in theater, we got Aunt Pearl down there, and she's collecting tickets, and she's not real happy when we run past her down there, you know, because we got a wagon load of people that hasn't paid, and so she might take her shotgun at us. You know, you can't never tell about Aunt Pearl. So.
Well, it sounds like an exciting time, and I really appreciate you letting us come out, and thank you so much for your time, and I know you're going to be busy tonight, so good luck.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for joining us on location. Now, we still want to hear from you. Just write us at On Location, care of Beatty Televisual, 1287 Wabash Avenue, Springfield, Illinois, 62704. Now, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to show you some best of shows of On Location. That's the shows and segments that have gotten the best hits on our YouTube channel of On Location 217. So join us next week here on Location.